Hey Bougie click. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into a topic that challenges a common stereotype, the idea that all men are indiscriminate when it comes to relationships. We often hear that men will pursue anyone, anywhere, anytime, but is that really the case? In this video, we're breaking down the myth and exploring the world of high-value men, those who set high standards for themselves and their partners. These men aren't just looking for any connection, they value quality, compatibility, and shared values. If you're curious about what makes a man high value and why standards are crucial, then stay tuned. And if you enjoy this discussion, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more content on relationships and self-improvement.
I'ma make you a fan.
High-value men have standards. Not all men will sleep with anyone. The stereotype that all men have low standards when it comes to relationships is tired, outdated, and frankly, incorrect. While some may indeed make impulsive choices, there exists a category of men who hold themselves and their romantic partners to high standards. These men do not settle for just anyone, they are selective, discerning, and intentional in their choices. There's a prevailing stereotype that men will sleep with anyone, anywhere, anytime. The idea suggests that male attraction operates on a low bar, indiscriminately accepting any option that presents itself. But let's be clear, this is simply not true for all men. The reality is that many men have very particular standards, rigid preferences, and an uncompromising vision of the kind of women they want to date. The idea that all men are indiscriminate in their choices of physical intimacy is one of the most misleading and reductive stereotypes out there. It erases individuality, oversimplifies human behavior, and dismisses the reality that many men have standards, sometimes high ones. While some men may operate this way, it's a shallow and outdated stereotype. High-value men, the ones who respect themselves and their future, don't just accept anyone who comes along. They have standards, preferences, and expectations just like women do. Breaking the stereotype, men aren't all the same. The idea that all men lack discretion in their romantic pursuits is a lazy generalization. Men, like women, are individuals with unique preferences, values, and expectations. While some might engage in casual encounters indiscriminately, many others operate on a completely different wavelength. The notion that every man would take what he can get is simply false. Some men seek partners who align with their ambitions, complement their lifestyle, and meet a certain level of emotional, intellectual, and physical attraction. These men, who might be called high-value men, do not entertain just anyone because their choices reflect their personal standards and self-respect. Low-value men versus high-value men. Let's make one thing clear, standards are a reflection of self-worth. Low-value men, those who lack confidence, emotional maturity, or direction, often chase validation through quantity over quality. They'll entertain any option because, deep down, they don't believe they deserve better. A high-value man, on the other hand, understands his worth. He values his time, energy, and emotional investment, making him far more selective about who he shares them with. High standards in a partner, whether based on emotional intelligence, personality, or physical attraction, do not equate to arrogance. They reflect self-respect and a refusal to engage in connections that lack substance. While some men may prioritize looks, others weigh character heavily in their decision-making. Rejecting someone isn't an attack on their worth, it's a personal choice. The difference between high-value and low-value men. One way to understand the contrast in standards is to differentiate between high-value and low-value men. Low-value men typically lack purpose, discipline, and self-respect. Because they do not hold themselves to a high standard, they have no expectations of others. Their dating choices may be driven by convenience, desperation, or temporary gratification rather than genuine compatibility. High-value men, on the other hand, know their worth. They have developed themselves intellectually, financially, and emotionally. They seek women who align with their vision, values, and goals. They want pretty privileged women. However, for these men, attraction is more than just physical. Character, ambition, and personality matter as well. That's why some men will only date models, successful professionals, or women who embody the qualities they admire. Their selectiveness isn't arrogance, it's an acknowledgement that a strong relationship requires mutual compatibility and shared values. The backlash: why rejection breeds resentment. The false belief that men will accept intimacy from anyone has created an expectation among some individuals that they should automatically receive attention, regardless of compatibility or attraction. When this expectation isn't met, rejection can be misinterpreted as cruelty or unfairness rather than a natural part of human interaction. This misplaced anger often manifests when attractive men decline advances from women they aren't interested in. But the truth is, rejection happens to everyone, men and women alike, and it's not always about looks. Attraction is complex, not one-dimensional. Attraction operates on multiple levels. The idea that men make decisions based solely on appearance is simplistic and outdated. Many men seek chemistry, shared values, and emotional fulfillment alongside physical attraction. The stereotype that men are willing to say yes to anyone ignores the depth of their preferences and underestimates their ability to exercise discretion. A considerable number of men seek compatibility, emotional connection, intelligence, ambition, and even social status. Some men won't entertain the idea of casual encounters or flings because they've set firm boundaries around who they allow into their personal lives. Whether driven by personal values, cultural expectations, or sheer selectiveness, these men won't just settle for the first opportunity that comes their way. The model-only club. Then, there's a specific subset of men who exclusively date models. Yes, models, the perfectly curated faces and figures that dominate fashion runways and magazine covers. These men often cite aesthetics, status, and an admiration for beauty as their primary motivators. To them, dating a model isn't just about attraction, it's about prestige. It's about aligning themselves with a certain lifestyle, where beauty is an expectation rather than a pleasant surprise. While some might call this shallow, others argue that it's simply knowing what you want and going after it. Standards, not settling. The bigger picture here is that attraction isn't a one-size-fits-all scenario. Just as women have deal breakers and preferences, men do too. Some men will only date certain body types, education levels, or personalities. Others are driven by lifestyle compatibility, refusing to date outside their desired social circles. The bottom line? Many men are selective, discerning, and unwilling to lower their standards simply for the sake of convenience. They are evaluating long-term potential. So, the next time someone throws around the idea that men are universally easy when it comes to dating, let's just say, some gentlemen are playing a very different game. Why standards matter. Standards signal strength and show that you are in high demand. Someone in high demand can be selective because they can get exactly what they want. A man who sets boundaries, maintains expectations, and refuses to settle earns respect from those around him. His selectivity shows strength, discipline, and intentionality in his relationships. And let's be honest, people always want what they can't easily have. Having standards is about knowing what you want and refusing to settle for less. Men with high standards are not afraid to say no to situations that do not serve their long-term vision. While society may paint men as inherently indiscriminate, the reality is that high-value men think strategically about their relationships. Their romantic choices reflect their mindset and goals. In contrast, men who lack standards often end up in unfulfilling situations simply because they did not take the time to evaluate compatibility. Conclusion: quality over quantity. The narrative that all men will sleep with anyone is false. Not all men are led by impulse. The ones who truly value themselves and their futures aren't out here saying yes to every option thrown their way. Some men, many men, operate with discernment, seeking relationships that align with their values and aspirations. Their standards reflect their self-respect, ambition, and personal growth. High-value men know that who they choose to be with reflects who they are, and they don't settle for mediocrity. Because at the end of the day, it's not about having options, it's about choosing wisely. Thanks for tuning in to today's discussion on the standards of high-value men. Remember, not all men fit the stereotype of being indiscriminate in their choices. As we've explored, high-value men know their worth and seek meaningful connections that align with their goals. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree that high standards are essential? Until next time, keep striving for quality over quantity in all aspects of life. What do you think? Do high-value men have standards? Let me know in the comments section. Stay bougie. Follow and support me. All links in bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check description for more info. New episodes every day.